July 2011, San Diego Comic-Con. Frank Darabont stands on stage in Hall H, the epicenter of pop culture. 20,000 fans are screaming. The cast of The Walking Dead surrounds him. Andrew Lincoln, John Bernthal, Sarah Wayne Callies. They're basking in the aftermath of a cultural phenomenon. Season 1 had just become the highest-rated cable drama premiere in television history. 6 episodes. A pilot that played like a feature film. Critics called it a mini-movie. Fans called it a masterpiece. Darabont looks like the king of the world. 3 days later, AMC fired him. No warning, no explanation that made sense. Just a phone call and a terse press release about the demands of an ongoing series. This wasn't a business decision. This was an execution. And the crime had already been committed months earlier, in emails and spreadsheets that wouldn't surface for years. The betrayal at Comic-Con was just the moment the world found out. Frank Darabont didn't need The Walking Dead. He had already directed The Shawshank Redemption and The Green Mile. He could have spent the rest of his career making films. Instead, he chose to adapt Robert Kirkman's comic series for television. The challenge was immense. Comics can show anything. Television has budgets, schedules, network standards. The Walking Dead wasn't just a zombie story. It was a visceral, brutal meditation on survival and humanity's collapse. The gore mattered. The silence mattered. The slow, suffocating dread. Darabont spent months crafting the pilot. He didn't just write it, he directed it. He fought for the budget to make it feel cinematic. The opening sequence, Rick Grimes waking up in an abandoned hospital, became iconic instantly. The empty hallways, the flickering lights, the handprint on the locked door, this wasn't television as AMC had known it. This was something else entirely. The pilot cost roughly $3 million per episode, astronomical for cable at the time. AMC executives were nervous. But when the ratings came in, the nerves turned to euphoria. The premiere drew 5.3 million viewers. The finale reached 6 million. For a new cable drama on a network known for Mad Men and Breaking Bad, this was seismic. Darabont had delivered exactly what he promised. A show that looked like a film, characters people cared about, a world that felt real despite the dead walking through it. He created Daryl Dixon, a character who didn't exist in the comics, who became the show's breakout star. He built the visual language, the muted color palette, the handheld camera work during action, the long, quiet character moments between the horror. This wasn't just a zombie show, it was prestige television with a genre coding. AMC publicly celebrated him. Privately, they were already planning his removal, because the success created a problem they hadn't anticipated. The show was expensive, and now that it was a hit, Darabont's contract guaranteed him escalating fees and profit participation. The system dictated that success should reward the creator. AMC decided to rewrite the system. The crisis meeting started in early 2011, while Season 1 was still airing. Emails flew between AMC executives. The subject lines revealed the panic. TWD budget issues. Cost overruns. Sustainability concerns. The Walking Dead was the highest-rated show on cable. It was generating millions in advertising revenue. The DVD sales were breaking records. International distribution deals were flooding in. By every external measure, the show was a goldmine. But inside AMC's financial planning meetings, executives were treating it like a problem that needed solving. The numbers told a story of institutional tension. Season 1 cost roughly $18 million for 6 episodes. AMC wanted Season 2 to have 13 episodes. Basic math suggested the budget should increase proportionally. Instead, AMC cut it. The directive came down, 13 episodes for roughly the same total budget as Season 1's 6. This wasn't cost control, this was cost reduction during a ratings explosion. Darabont pushed back. The emails from this period, later revealed in court filings, show his frustration. He argued that doubling the episode count while slashing per-episode budgets would compromise the show's quality. The cinematic feel would disappear. The production schedule would become unsustainable. AMC's response was blunt. Make it work, or we'll find someone who will. The tension wasn't about creative differences. It was about money. Specifically, It was about the structure of Darabont's deal. He had negotiated profit participation. If the show made money, he made money. Standard practice for a creator bringing a property to a network. But there was a problem. AMC didn't just own the network that aired The Walking Dead, they also owned the studio that produced it. This wasn't unusual by 2011. The old rules preventing this kind of vertical integration had been dismantled in the 1990s. What was unusual was how AMC planned to use that structure. The reality behind the budget cuts wasn't about sustainability. It was about setting up a system where the show could never show a profit on paper. If there was no profit, there was nothing to participate in. Darabont's contract became worthless the moment AMC decided to play both sides of the transaction. The budget cuts were the warning shot. The real crime was already underway in the accounting department, where executives were drafting the terms of a license fee that would define the show's financial structure for years to come. That fee would be set at 65% of production costs, not based on market value, not based on ratings, just a number chosen to guarantee that no matter how successful The Walking Dead became, the books would always show a loss. Darabont didn't know it yet, but he was already being erased. To understand how AMC stole $200 million, you need to understand the architecture of the theft. This wasn't a simple case of withholding a check. This was systemic, institutional. A financial structure designed to make profit disappear. Picture two buildings. One is AMC Network, the cable channel that airs The Walking Dead. The other is AMC Studios, the production company that makes the show. In a normal television deal, these would be separate companies. A network pays a studio a license fee to air a show. That fee is negotiated based on the show's value. If a show becomes a massive hit, the license fee reflects that success. The studio uses that fee to cover production costs and, ideally, make a profit. If there's profit, the creators with participation deals get paid. But AMC owned both buildings. They were the network and the studio. They negotiated the license fee with themselves. In early 2011, while Darabont was fighting budget cuts, AMC executives were drafting an internal memo. The subject was the license fee structure for The Walking Dead. The number they settled on was 65% of production costs, not market value, not what an independent network would pay, just 65% of whatever the show cost to make. This memo became Exhibit A in Darabont's lawsuit. It proved premeditation. AMC decided in advance that The Walking Dead would never show a profit, regardless of its ratings, its cultural impact, or its revenue generation. The math was elegant in its brutality. If an episode cost $2 million to produce, AMC Network paid AMC Studios $1.3 million. The show was automatically $700,000 in the red per episode before a single commercial aired. Multiply that across 13 episodes. Then across multiple seasons, the deficit compounded. On paper, The Walking Dead was a catastrophic financial failure, losing tens of millions of dollars despite being the highest-rated show on cable. Meanwhile, AMC Network was generating massive revenue. Advertising rates skyrocketed. International distribution deals brought in hundreds of millions. Merchandise, streaming rights, DVD sales, all of it flowed to AMC. But none of it flowed to the profit participation pool because there was no profit. The books showed only losses. This wasn't accounting error, this was self-dealing. AMC set the terms of the transaction between their own subsidiaries to guarantee the outcome they wanted. They moved money from their left pocket to their right pocket, skimming the difference and called it a loss. Industry veterans call this Hollywood accounting. But that phrase makes it sound like creative bookkeeping. This was more direct. AMC controlled both sides of the negotiation. They set a price that had no relationship to market reality. They did it deliberately, in writing, with full knowledge of what it would accomplish. Darabont's contract promised him a percentage of profits. AMC's internal memo ensured there would never be profits to share. The contract became worthless the moment that memo was drafted. When Darabont was fired in July 2011, he didn't know about the memo yet. He didn't know about the 65% fee structure. He just knew something was wrong. The show was a phenomenon, but AMC was treating it like a burden. The discovery process in his lawsuit would take years. Depositions, document requests, forensic accountants reconstructing the money flow, and eventually they found it. The memo, the smoking gun. Proof that AMC had designed a system to erase his compensation before the show even premiered. That memo would cost AMC $200 million to make go away. The firing happened in July 2011, 3 days after Comic-Con. No face-to-face meeting, no explanation beyond vague references to the demands of an ongoing series. AMC issued a press release. Darabont's lawyer issued a statement. The cast found out from the news. Sarah Wayne Callies, who played Lori Grimes, later called it an assassination. She wasn't wrong. The timing was surgical. Fire him after Season 1's success was undeniable, but before Season 2 began production. Replace him quickly enough that the show could continue without interruption. Frame it as a creative decision, not a financial one. Darabont didn't go quietly. In December 2013, he filed a lawsuit against AMC. The complaint alleged breach of contract, fraud, and unjust enrichment. He sought $280 million in damages. The number wasn't arbitrary. His lawyers had calculated what his profit participation should have been worth based on the show's actual revenue. The lawsuit forced AMC to produce documents, internal emails, financial statements, the memo setting the license fee at 65%. Discovery took years. Depositions stretched into hundreds of pages. Forensic accountants reconstructed the money flow between AMC Network and AMC Studios. Other plaintiffs joined the fight. Robert Kirkman, the comics creator, filed his own lawsuit in 2017. Producers Gail Ann Hurd, Glenn Mazzara, and David Alpert followed. They all alleged the same thing. AMC had used vertical integration to erase their profit participation through accounting fiction. AMC's defense was consistent. They argued this was industry standard practice. Networks that own studios set license fees internally all the time. They took the financial risk. They funded the production. They deserved the reward. But the documents undermined that defense. The memo proved they'd set the fee arbitrarily, not based on market conditions. The emails proved they'd cut budgets during a ratings explosion, not because of financial necessity. The settlement negotiations proved they knew they were going to lose. In July 2021, AMC announced a settlement. $200 million to Darabont and his agency, CAA. The terms included a buyout of most of his intellectual property rights in the franchise. His name would remain in the credits for seasons 1 through 11 of the main series. The spin-offs would continue without his involvement. Settlements aren't admissions of guilt in legal terms. But in practical terms, paying $200 million is an admission you were going to lose at trial. AMC didn't settle because they were generous. They settled because Discovery had exposed the mechanism of the theft, and a jury would have seen exactly what Darabont's lawyer saw. The payout exceeded what AMC saved by firing him. Callies had been right. They assassinated the creator to save money in the short term, then paid far more in the long term to make the lawsuit disappear. This kind of self-dealing wasn't always possible. Until the 1990s, federal regulations explicitly prevented it. The financial interest and syndication rules, known as FinCEN, barred television networks from owning the shows they aired. The logic was simple. If a network owns the studio, they control both sides of the negotiation. They set the price. They determine the profit. The creators and producers have no leverage. FinCEN was dismantled during the Reagan-era deregulation wave. The argument was that it stifled competition and prevented networks from building valuable content libraries. The result was vertical integration. Networks bought studios. Studios became subsidiaries. The safeguards disappeared. The Walking Dead case demonstrates exactly why those safeguards existed. When one company controls production and distribution, profit participation becomes a fiction. The books can show anything the company wants them to show. The settlement closed the case, but not the questions. Darabont's name remains on the credits. AMC controls the franchise. The main series ended after season 11. possibly to stop paying him further. The spin-offs continue without his involvement. $200 million bought silence, but it couldn't buy back legitimacy. The court of public opinion delivered its verdict the moment AMC signed the check.